Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today we are going to be doing another PC build. I've done a couple of these recently. Um, for my buddies Christian and Josh, we got them gaming in glorious PC Master Race fashion now. They're, as far as I can tell, they're loving it. They got some pretty high-end rigs. Today's a little special build though. This is actually a surprise PC build for someone, or should I say some people who don't know that they're getting a computer built for them. And before I get into saying who it is, I'll kind of say it now. I want to say congratulations to Keith and Hannah on their engagement and their upcoming wedding. You guys are a phenomenal couple. I couldn't imagine, honestly, a better pairing of people. And obviously, I wish you guys all the best. So, if I kind of gave the game away, today's computer build is for you guys. I figure both of you can use it. I also figure, because I'm throwing a pretty decent set of specs in here that are pretty good for gaming, that Keith could maybe enjoy Fallout and Skyrim and all the other actually good older Bethesda games in, their true glory with the full mod suite. This should be able to handle that. No problem. So, I don't know if you have an extra monitor. I'm going to hook you guys up with, just one of my old keyboards and mice. But, if you get an extra monitor, I've heard that, maybe this will also help, because if Keith wants to game and Hannah wants to watch your show, this is like a happy medium. So enjoy the rest of the build. I'm going to record everything, but kind of speed it up for the sake of brevity. I don't want this video to be like hours long, but yeah, enjoy the rest of the video, and at the end, we'll see it all put together. So, to start off, we hooked you. Can you imagine if I just started like announcing this shit like Pimp My Ride, like, we hooked you up
So you want to be a player
with an i3 12100. No, but we got you a i3 12100F. It's a quad core 8-thread processor, which, layman's terms, it's gonna be plenty fine for all of your like basic office tasks, and it's actually like the budget king for gaming. It does phenomenally in gaming, and you really can't beat it in terms of like price to performance. You could get more expensive CPUs, but it's diminishing returns on the amount of extra horsepower or performance you're going to get out of your games, unless you're running like top of the line graphics cards. After that, we got you a 256 gig M.2 SSD. This is going to be for Windows and basically whatever other program you're going to want in here. It just makes everything go so much faster than a regular spinning disk hard drive. We also got you a regular spinning disk hard drive because they're better for long-term storage. So, like, you could probably fit Windows programs and then Fallout or Skyrim, or maybe even both, on the SSD if you want it to load really, really fast. But if you throw it on the hard drive, load times aren't going to be that much worse. So it's there so that you can have more than just one or two games. Then, to go along with the CPU, got you this new B760M Pro RSD4. Lots of letters and numbers. Just good micro ATX motherboard, small form factor. Takes DDR4, which is good because I already had DDR4. Speaking of DDR4, we got you 16 gigs of some Corsair Vengeance LPX, 3200 megahertz CL16. Great all-around RAM, can't go wrong. Nice sweet spot in terms of speed. If you were going to go higher, it's not going to make that big of a difference. And then we got you my old faithful. This thing served me very, very well. Trusty GTX 1070. And it has the added benefit of, normally, I don't dislike them, but normally I'm not the biggest fan of, these are called blower style. It's where there's like a fan right here and it pushes through the graphics card and then exhausts out the back. Normally it's just 2 or 3 big fans and it kind of like blows up into the case. But as you'll see when I show you the case, it's a small form factor, which means that it's already got good airflow, so it wouldn't have been bad if this was a normal or quote-unquote normal style cooler. But the fact that it's going to be exhausting out the back just means that inside your case is going to be so cool, in terms of temperatures that, you're going to be solid. And the cool thing about this B760 is that if you ever figure that you want to upgrade, there's a couple more generations of processors newer than this one that you could totally throw in here in, 3-4 years if you wanted to upgrade it, super easy to do, and boom, you got a brand new processor, don't even have to upgrade your motherboard. So that's cool. And then GPU is like one of the easiest things to upgrade in a computer. And then last but not least, we got you this Antec NX200M. It's a micro ATX form factor case. Again, layman's terms is, I'm sure you've seen all of those like massive gaming PCs. I personally like that because I'm a computer nerd, and if I need to have a behemoth on my desk, so be it. But I figured for you, since this is essentially going to be like a console killer build, that you're not going to want some massive unwieldy computer, so I made sure to get parts that would fit into a micro ATX form factor. And like you saw in the video, it's nice and compact, it's super light. Like even after I put the parts in, it's going to be nice and light. So it's bigger than a console, but also it's got tempered glass on the side, and like the console's not going to give you that. It's also not going to game as well, and it also doesn't have windows on it, so you can't do anything else other than game. So it's just going to be better in every way, essentially, and it's not going to take up a bunch of your space. Oh, almost forgot. Not that it's like flashy or anything, because it's just powering, but we got you a Corsair VS650 2018 edition, 650 watt power supply, which is more than enough, well more than enough than what your parts require. But what that means is that you have some headroom in the future. Like I said, if you ever want to throw in an upgrade, you probably aren't going to have to upgrade your power supply unless you just decide, you've now been converted into some PC nerd and you want to just go all out. But I don't really see that happening. So if you want to just upgrade in the future, you get into the joys of PC gaming and you just want to like throw in some moderately newer parts, that 650 watts is going to do you totally fine. So that's the overview of the parts, but let's get into the actual build itself. All right, so first things first, we are going to install the RAM, M.2 SSD, and the CPU, and the CPU cooler as well. I like to do that first. I build into the motherboard all of these parts because it's a lot easier to do it outside of the case than it is to do inside of the case. It becomes more cramped, and there's no downside to basically building it outside of the case, so that's what we're going to do right now. Alright, we got the RAM, the M.2 SSD, and the CPU installed. I'm gonna get the included fan installed. However, it comes with this pre-applied thermal paste, and I'm sure it's fine, but I like to use Arctic MX4. It's just better aftermarket paste. So I'm gonna go take this off with some isopropyl alcohol and be right back. Alright, as you can see, I took some isopropyl alcohol and some cotton swabs to this cooler, and the pre-applied paste is now gone. We are going to apply a large pea-sized drop of this. Focus, camera. Again, like I said in Christian and Josh's PC build, always make sure fan is down on the power supply. for those of you who have never seen what reapplying thermal paste looks like on a graphics card, here is what it looks like and what you're gonna need. It's actually super duper simple, very similar to a CPU. So if you've ever done a CPU, then you're good to go. You're gonna need, obviously, screwdriver, thermal paste. I'm gonna be using Thermalright TF7. Performs good. I find that it has a higher viscosity, so it doesn't tend to pump out. It's a thing that happens with graphics cards sometimes because they're under quite a lot of pressure and it tends to like bleed out. You're gonna need some Q-tips. It's honestly fine if you don't have it, if only all you have is a paper towel. But I like to have both. And then some isopropyl alcohol. I have 91%. Honestly, if you have 70%, it's fine. It's not gonna hurt. Yeah, here we go. So obviously, start by unscrewing Alright, now that we got thermal paste reapplied, I'm going to take this and reattach the fan. Don't forget to reattach the fan cable, that would be so bad. Alright, now it's time to install the graphics card. Alright, it looks like, at least for the top fans, these regular sized 120s are just slightly too thick. So I'm gonna see how the temps are, because, you know, it'd be nice to populate all of them, but if the temperatures are fine, it would just be kind of redundant to add ones in the top anyways. If the temps aren't fine, which I'm not expecting, because it's not exactly going to be pumping out a super shitload of heat, then I'll order some slimline fans. And if you ever want to put them in the top in the future, if I don't end up putting them in the top, then you can just order some and hit me up and I'll help you out. But yeah, so I think what's left to do is just wire in the fans and then hook it up to a power cable, and then I think we're good to go and start installing windows. Alright, I got it hooked up to one of my monitors because I'm not going to bring my whole ass monitor out there. That's a good sign. And it posted. Fuck yeah, dude. Alright, you guys. Got your computer all finished up. It's all cable managed. Everything is working totally fine. The top fans doesn't look like they really need to be in there, but we can add them later if you want to. Yeah, got you some nice specs. It'll be a great all-around computer, and then it'll game. So, I got you one of my old mice. I don't have any spare keyboards, so basically the only things that you're on the hook for making this work is a monitor, and obviously I would get, it doesn't have to be super high end, but get something that can push a little bit higher frame rates. I can send you some that are, not gonna break the bank at all. That will be great. And then also a keyboard, whatever you want for the keyboard, honestly. I am giving you a Wi-Fi adapter, so you guys can not worry about having to plug it in. But if you have the ability to plug it in and it's close to your router or whatever, then obviously that's superior. But yeah, you got a Wi-Fi adapter just in case. And you can come by and get this puppy whenever. I'm not going to make you wait until the wedding date. I hope you guys like it. Congratulations again, you too.